this video of Nick Fuentes, because if there is ever anything that proves the Large Hadron Collider has fired up and we have entered an inverse reality, there are a few stories. Jimmy Kimmel being fired, Trump designating Antifa a terrorist organization, and then this video that, to be fair, I can't even tell if these things are AI anymore, but people are saying this is actually Nick Fuentes. Listen to this.
Time to wake up, guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say, the conspiratard schizo thing, it's getting a little out of control. And that's coming from me. I mean, it's like we are truly through the looking glass. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, people blame Israel. I, who fought Charlie Kirk because he was pro-Israel, am being said to, I'm being said to be covering up that he was killed for this miraculous conversion. If Ben Shapiro was taken out next, and God forbid, would Israel be behind that too? I mean, that would be equally ridiculous. If it was Ben Shapiro on Wednesday, people would be saying, Israel did it. Shapiro was about to become a National Socialist. Like, what?
Nick Fuentes, voice of reason. I saw this video, and someone asked me if it was AI, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know anymore, because Nick Fuentes is like, I was challenging the Israel narrative on Charlie's assassin, and people said he was covering it up. I did like a 46-minute breakdown on all of these stories where they're claiming that Charlie was fighting with donors, he felt blackmailed, and I'll give you the real simple version. Some of that seems to be half true. Like, there were donors who were concerned about the current state of support for Israel, and Charlie was moderate conservative, so he had similar views to many conservatives, which is, I don't know why we should be funding these foreign wars and getting dragged into it. However, I think it's very obvious to anybody who's ever watched anything from Charlie, he was extremely pro-Israel. So I agree with Nick Fuentes on this one, in that it is ridiculous to assume Israel did it, and I don't get the point. I mean, it's just deflecting from the obvious that far leftists who had a real motive that we've been warning about for so, like, don't walk away from solving the puzzle, okay? We've been complaining about the far left threat of violence. I have been threatened by the far left. I've never been threatened by Israel. I've never been threatened by groypers. It's always the far left. And so when a guy kills Charlie and the evidence suggests he's a leftist, there are people coming out blaming Israel, and I'm just like, by all means, rag on Israel all day, every day. I don't care. I care about it as much as I care about Burma. But it is weird that they blame it for everything, to the point where even Nick Fuentes, of all people, are saying, guys, chill out. But, I agree. I agree, Nick.
In the diffusion of political force that the whole conspiracy thing he's talking about represents is a major problem, because this is our opportunity to take on the radical, violent left that you're speaking about. And to do that, we have to develop a Schwerpunkt, a point of force, and overwhelming force to do so. Not violent force, just political force and political will to do it. And if everyone's off with their own personal pet theory about what went on, despite the evidence that this was clearly an Antifa-related operation, that's a major mistake that will limit our ability to do anything productive, much less what directly needs to be done, and will be very difficult to accomplish even if we keep our focus intact.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have people that have been on the same tangent. Like, they were saying the same stuff 8 days ago, and then they just reapply it to this horrible, tragic situation. And all they're doing in the process is just letting the left off the hook. That's all that's happening here. It's like he said, what are we even talking about here? Like, why like you're saying, we now have a moment, we now have the potential to really crack down on these people that have been tormenting us for all these years, and then these people are just going off on bunny trails that aren't going to go anywhere, and then, there's overwhelming evidence this guy was, left-wing, Antifa aligned, and yeah, they're just completely letting him off the hook with this nonsense. I'm just like, guys, what are we doing here? You almost get suspicious. Like, are you running cover for the left at this point? You have to start asking yourself that question.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder how many people are actually running cover for the left, because it does seem like there's that motivation. I mean, this is probably about as conspiratorial as I get, but the idea that this is an op, it doesn't sit with me. But there are people where it's just like, man, are you actually trying to help the left, I'm
like, have you ever met a leftist? I legitimately, I'm asking people, like, if you have an axe to grind with Israel, that's one thing, but it's like, maybe you just never met a leftist to like realize that no, they actually hate you. They actually want to kill you. This is not beyond the pale for them. This is how they operate. Maybe they just haven't met a leftist because this is when, as soon as this happened, I was like, yeah, okay, it's kind of obvious what's happened here.
Yeah, and
So, it's crazy.
I mean,
Have they any Jewish people? Yeah. I wonder if they've met a Jew in their whole life.
You know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, you see it on the timeline, the whole like the people that are so conspiracy brain that they're just like, well, oh, you know, was there another shooter, or was this actually shot from behind or whatever? There are a couple people that do it, and just pointing out, look, nowadays there are people that are so sure or so determined to not get fooled by the government because the government does lie. Right, I'm not saying that the government doesn't lie. They definitely send misinformation out, do whatever they can to promote the narrative that they want. They do lie, but there are so many people that are determined to not be, you know, conned by the government again, that they will believe anything just so long as the government didn't say it. And you can see that by the people that say, I used to believe in UFOs, and then the government said they have UFOs. Now I don't believe in UFOs anymore. It's kind of like that's really what happens.
It's kind of the natural reaction of what's happened after the institutions fell, right?
Exactly.
Nobody believes at the colleges anymore. Nobody believes the government anymore. And
they shouldn't.
Yeah,
you know, it's completely reasonable.
Exactly. The lack of trust and authority means that you have to look for it elsewhere. And unfortunately, that leads you down dark paths. If you don't have the time to go actually investigate all of this stuff, you're going to it's like not being able to see the forest through the trees.
The real conspiracy is sometimes the government tells the truth.
Sometimes
that's dangerous.
Sometimes things are just what they seem, and it's just in today's day and age, nobody wants to be a fool.
Yeah, that's the point. There were so many people that got conned by COVID, and so many people bought into it, and then you hear the way that people are talked about if they did get conned, or if they did believe it. They're like, "Oh, I don't want that to happen," so they'll believe anything and everything, just so long as it's the not the narrative that the government's trying to put forward. And there's one more thing that I'll say about this. The worst people in the world are the people that will not only will believe anything at all, but then sit there and act arrogantly towards others about it. If you're just like, I don't know, man, I don't know, I don't believe anything because blah, 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 that's one thing. But when you're just like, oh, you're so stupid because you believe you believe the earth is round? What a moron you are. You know, it's like Shane Cashman is the perfect example. He's skeptical about everything, but he's never condescending. He's never rude. He never treats people badly about different beliefs. And like he doesn't even believe clouds are real. You know?
I think Dean Haglund, he was on the X-Files back in the day. He was on a podcast once. He said the problem with being a conspiracy theorist is if you're right, all you get to say is I told you so.
Literally, yeah.
That's really like the worst possible thing imagined. The government covers up the worst thing you've ever thought of in the entire world. Turns out to be right, and all you get to say is, I was right.
Well, and another thing is, I think a lot of this is the need for politics to be entertainment.
Yeah.
Where it's not that this is a serious moment requiring serious political thought and doing things that will have long-term repercussions and need to be dealt with that in mind. It's instead, no, I want to be entertained by some nonsense I made up, and to be entertained, I'm going to continue just coming up with things and pushing things that aren't serious. And I think that's a huge mistake.
Well, and to be fair to these people, like we're coming out of the Biden winter, we're coming out of the Obama years. So it's like they kind of have been trained and rewarded in many aspects to be like eternal contrarians.
Well, just like gaslit.
Or gaslit. So they're not used to the fact that we have like the most right-wing administration probably in our lifetimes, certainly in my lifetime. And so it's like I do give these people a bit of grace because they came out of a environment where like being a contrarian was actually usually the best way forward. But we're in a different paradigm. Again, a leftist. The person they have is clearly a leftist with the evidence presented.
Stay off Threads, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
I went on Threads, and it's just
or Blue Sky.
If I could explain with a sound, it's that's the sound of all of these posts. Pictures of Jimmy Kimmel. Here's one. Are you kidding? Imagine if this happened when Biden was present to a Fox News host, and they said that about Pelosi's husband. Imagine. Oh, I think this person's actually making fun of them.
One of our guys is on there. Brave soul.
Being against Antifa literally by definition means you are pro-fascism.
Oh, they do that thing where they show like the Into the Jaws of Death picture from D-Day, and they're like, this is what Antifa look like. And I'm like, Ask one of those gentlemen what they would think about blue hair dye and get their reaction.
We're the good guys, and that's a proper noun. I have coined the term good guys, and I'm going to create a flag for a symbol of good guys, and we will be called the good guys. Yeah. And so literally, if you oppose the good guys, you're the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So all of these... Yeah, all these people who are saying that good guys are bad means they're the bad guys. That proves it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Libs owned.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.